Doctor's log. It's day 243 in this Portobello purgatory. My only companion is a rock I named Stone. The question is, for whom am I narrating this?
Okay, let's go.
Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. This is Wait, You Haven't Seen? It's a show where we talk about movies, and specifically, we talk about a movie at least one of us had never seen before. I'm your host, Travis, a.k.a. TV's Travis. This is episode number 359. And our movie this week from 2022, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And joining me to talk about it, because we talked about the first one, so we had to talk about the sequel, it's Anthony Vito. Anthony, how you doing?
Hey, good, Travis. Thanks for having me back. Looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. So we talked about a year ago, I think, or so. You came on and we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog, which I had seen in the theater, you had not seen. And we both enjoyed it. We had a good time with it. And we had bandied about. We're like, well, we got to talk about the sequels now. So we're here to talk about the sequel. Had you watched it at all prior to this?
So after when we talked about Sonic, that was when I kind of first met you guys, and all the what you guys do with the multiple shows that you have, and it was like, oh, I joined the Discord. You talked about how you get guests, and I went, man, the whole Sonic 3 just came out. I've never seen any of them, and I grew up a huge Sonic fan. Love the games. There's a picture of me at 6 years old with the Sonic costume. It's great.
Nice.
I never saw them, and it just was one of those things you don't think about it, and then all of a sudden I was like, I want to watch Sonic, and you popped in and said you should watch it, and then join the show. So I had such a good time. I watched it with my wife like a year ago, took notes, and I was like, this is so fun. And obviously we can go back to that episode to see what we thought about it. But then immediately afterwards, my wife and I were like, yeah, let's watch Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. So pretty short succession afterwards, probably within a month. We, every once in a while we'll throw on a movie. They're real quick, easy runs, easy watches.
Mm-hmm.
We watched both of them. So
Nice.
Needless to say, I did rewatch it before this just to make sure I got all the little the jokes and nods and to be prepared for this one. But yeah, I definitely, you inspired me to watch the whole trilogy. So there we go.
Excellent. So I did not watch it until just recently, mostly as an excuse to get you back on, I will admit. But I didn't watch it, and so I sat down. I remembered the first one. I did rewatch that and kind of get myself back in the mood. And what I'm going to say is, just like the first movie, I really enjoyed this. It's a good time. It feels right in line with that first movie. What it feels like to me watching it was they made the first movie. There was we talked about kind of the controversy when the first trailer dropped of the design of Sonic, and then they restructured it and redid it.
Yeah.
But that first movie comes out, it was better than I anticipated it being. And it felt like this time around they were able to kind of loosen the reins a little bit and get a little bit more into the backgrounds of the game and get a little weirder with it than they did in the first one. The first one does get strange, but it stays very grounded in sort of our reality in a way. And this one plays a lot more.
Yeah, 100% I agree with that. And that's the first one was very much like, we're not going to put too much lore into this because we already have to get the normal audience okay with the fact there's a giant blue hedgehog that's an alien.
Yes.
on screen and figure out how that's going to work with them. So we're not going to talk about Chaos Emeralds or the Master Emerald. We're not bringing in any other characters. Let's just get Sonic grounded in this world with, James Marsden and Jim Carrey. So you're right. Number 2, they definitely said we're going to add a little bit more and we're going to get a little more kooky. And they definitely did. And I mean, it also did really, really well. So it turns out that, hey, after the first one, you can always get a little bit more because now people are willing to go, okay, I understand there's aliens now that are very colorful and fast. We can introduce more now.
And you're right. The point of that is the general audiences. The Sonic fans want full-on Sonic all the time, and they're going to be there for it. But especially Sega and Sonic there's a huge fandom for it, and it's a very cultural touchstone, but it's not quite Nintendo. It's not quite Mario. And so you do kind of have to draw in some general audiences and some of the younger audience that maybe didn't play a lot of the games, or the people of, say our age that have kids that what we grew up with the game. So yeah, it's great, but it's great to see them kind of loosen that up and play a little bit more and bring in. You had in the first movie, you had Sonic, you had Robotnik, and some of his kind of robots. But now you get, so this movie introduced Tails. And I loved that they had Colleen O'Shaughnessy do the voice.
Oh yeah,
of Tails, who is the voice of Tails from the games. That's great.
Did an incredible job, good translation, and just perfect timing and all that. And Tails was hinted in the post-credit scene in the first one, so they definitely were planning on making this into a sequel.
So Tails gets introduced here. Robotnik is back, and we also introduced Knuckles, who I think Knuckles came along in the video game 3, right? That was the first appearance.
Yeah, and then Sonic and Knuckles was like the big game that he was involved in. But yeah, the 3 was the first one.
And so what I like is it's a good expansion without feeling overstuffed. It's very easy when making a movie, especially a sequel to something that was popular, that has a lot of lore and a lot of backstory, to put way too much in. And this was very smart and measured by them to, okay, we're going to add some characters, but only a couple. And we're going to add a lot. We're going to have, I will mention a bunch of the Easter eggs that I noticed, and probably some that you noticed as well, of like things from the games that popped up. But it would be really, really easy to just overstuff this with too many new characters. And they didn't do that. And I'm very appreciative of it. I will say they did overstuff with some plot elements that probably could have been trimmed.
Yeah, I could see that. There was there's a whole B plot that just kind of gets buried in the first act.
Yeah.
And then never really talked about again. And that's the wedding between what are the characters' names?
Rachel and Randall.
Rachel and Randall's wedding, just a whole B plot there where it's okay. James Marsden's character Tom and his wife are going because it's his wife's sister, and these are all characters that don't exist. And then no spoilers, turns out that they're all agents of Gunn trying to find Sonic and all this, and it's just a whole hoax. And then after the first act ends, it's like, we're not going to talk about that anymore.
Nope, we're just gonna kind of forget about it. We're definitely going to spoil things in this movie for people. So the movie is available on Hulu, but there's this weird balance you have to do when you adapt. So video game adaptations, I feel like, are one of the harder adaptations to do into a film, because there's always a translation layer whenever you adapt something from one medium to another, right? What works on the page in a book doesn't necessarily work on screen. Or if it does, it works in a different way. You can have pages of description in a book, but you've got to condense that down into a lot less time when you're watching a movie. Video games have the problem of it's an interactive medium that you are a part of and creating the experience in, and now it's becoming a passive style of storytelling. So how do you work that in? And Sonic has the extra layer of Sonic and Tails and Knuckles don't exist on Earth in the video games. Now we're putting them on Earth, and we've got human characters so that we have some characters that people can relate to for the non-Sonic fans. And you've got to work them in, and how do you do that in a way that makes sense? And I think the first movie, I will say, I felt like balanced those two worlds a little bit more than here. And that's not to say that they did a poor job. And I have to look at it through the lens of, this is also aimed at a teenager, tween, younger audience. This is a PG movie, and it's aimed at a younger audience than this isn't a film critics movie, right? This isn't a movie that's going to test well. It's not showing up at Cannes or Sundance. It's not that kind
You're
of
not getting Oscar nominations. No.
No.
You're making it fun and kind of doing the suspend your disbelief, but also it's freaking a blue hedgehog in a movie. So we're gonna still have fun with it.
Saying that, I do think 2 hours of runtime, maybe a little bit longer than it needed to be. Because again, in a movie aimed at kids, that's a long time to expect a kid to hold their attention.
Especially with the first one, it was pretty much right at 90. This jumped significantly.
Yeah.
And you could have literally gotten rid of that 30 minutes by just hacking off the whole B plot.
And I know
Probably.
they want to bring back Rachel. She was a fun character in the first movie. You got to have something for Tom and Maddie to do and separate them from Sonic so Sonic can go on his globe-trotting adventure in a way that doesn't create the different type of conflict. Like, he's able to then go from Green Hill to Siberia without having to like sneak away necessarily.
Yeah, it made sense because all of this action's happening while they're gone, which is the classic shenanigans afoot when the mods are gone.
Yep.
So that plot line was able to kind of exist without feeling like, oh hey, look, we got to figure out how Tom's involved here too. It just made a lot more sense because he had to go on the solo journey without having to create all of this reasoning as, oh shoot, Dr. Robotnik's back. Well, I'm just going to call XYZ. Or, hey, look, now we have 2 new characters that show up that look like me from another dimension or another planet. How are we going to deal with that?
And I like to, I enjoyed, we're going to introduce these new characters and then they're just going to show up halfway through the movie in terms of like showing up in front of Tom and Maddie. And there's no, whoa, what is this? Who are they? Like, it's who's Tails? This is Tails. Moving on. We're just going to hand wave it and go. And I appreciate that. It's efficiency in storytelling. The one thing with the Hawaii subplot area that really got to me, the wedding's fine. And I actually didn't mind a lot of that. And I like the stuff with Rachel. It's fun. It's unneeded, but it's fun. And Natasha Rothwell is just going for it. She is hamming it up as Rachel. Shamar Moore as Randall is hilarious. He has way too thin of a goatee. Like, that goatee is so razor thin right off his lips. Straight down. It's perfectly manicured.
And him and all of his groomsmen are like straight up Adonises. It's just beach volleyball scene. It's fun.
But the introduction of Gunn comes out of nowhere and feels that's the one thing where my critical brain of like watching a movie and telling a story, I'm like, hold on, wait a second. We're an hour into this movie and now you're going to introduce this with no like lead up at all. Just suddenly they're all there. That was one where I kind of wish we had at least had some kind of an inkling that the government was still looking for Sonic because, and the reason I say that is, again, this is my nitpicky, overly critical hat I'm putting on. The opening of the movie is Sonic in Seattle. And it's like that's a throwback to, I want to say it's Sonic Adventure, where there was there's a level where he does exactly like what the opening of this movie is, chasing down like a bank robber and all that kind of stuff. But he's in Seattle doing as the Blue Justice, right? He's doing his whole vigilante thing. And if the government is looking for him, he's not doing a very good job of hiding, and they should have noticed like reports of a blue hedgehog, a 3-foot blue creature in Seattle, but we got nothing of that. I would have liked maybe just a little seed planting there would have made that reveal better in Hawaii.
Yeah, and then them doing this whole thing in Hawaii again, off the mainland where they know he is, and Gunn is is guardian units of nations, I think, and I don't even know if they actually say that in the movie. They just kind of go, "This is what's going on," and then of course, Rachel goes off the deep end with the golf cart, and it's pretty funny trying to get down Randall, just having different weapons like. What does that thing do? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Just classic, like so. It's a good read, like from a characterization standpoint, and it also makes it like, hey, this is still humanity. This is the human part of it. We're not gonna just do all the supernatural alien stuff. So I kind of agree with you that it was fun. It just was kind of hilarious that at that point, then all of a sudden it stops. We're not gonna talk about this anymore. We don't even see her anymore. Not even at the end, I don't think.
Yeah, no, she never comes back.
Yeah, Rachel and Randall just are out, and that's fine. Maybe they figured something out. I think he says something too, like the one thing you're supposed to not do in undercover is fall in love. I'm like, oh my god. Oh
yeah, no, it was cheeseball. I also wonder like how long would Operation Catfish, which is what they called it, how long would that have gone on if Sonic didn't miraculously show up at the wedding in Hawaii? Because they couldn't plan for that.
Yep.
So
it was just a way to get it in, and all of a sudden it just worked itself out, and just the whole hilarity of just Tom, kind of being the quirky, cop guy from a small town, mixing up the rings. So Sonic's ring is the one that's about to go on the finger, so he has to interrupt the whole ceremony. It's great. It's great comedy.
My note at that point was like, Tom, all you got to do is say, "Oh, I was messing around with JoJo earlier and I accidentally gave her the wrong ring back. Can I just swap you?" And then it's fine. But that's not as funny as him fumbling over it and then punching Randall to get the ring.
Punching him in the face.
It's just out of nowhere.
Absolutely absurd, especially since and the good thing about that is like, okay, they planted that seed when they're playing beach volleyball and he's getting his butt handed to him.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of funny of like a little bit of extra anger, but also, my Sonic, my kid, for all intents and purposes, needs my help. So we're going to go ahead and do this.
And I also want to point out very much so that all of my criticisms about the movie are minor because it's fun and it stays internally consistent with itself and with the first movie. So it's, I'm going to nitpick a little like, oh, gun just kind of shows up out of nowhere. And the whole, like the opening in Seattle is silly and you could cut that completely and change nothing about the movie. But it was also very enjoyable. And it had this great energy about it the whole way through. And everyone making this movie, from James Marsden, Ben Schwartz, Tika Sumpter, Jeff Fowler, the director, Jim Carrey, everyone is having a blast making this. You can tell they all want to be here and they all really, really enjoy it.
And they want to keep making them.
Yeah. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is having so much fun. And we said it in the first movie. He was probably the reason to watch it. He is almost the best thing in this movie again. Like, he is just way too fun.
First thing I wrote is, as always, Jim Carrey steals the show. And I think this is part of that. I have to look back at the timeline. Like, Jim Carrey was about to retire from acting. He was done with it. He didn't want to do it anymore. And the Sonic movies keep pulling him back in. So that shows you just how much he loves it. And I don't know if that has to do with his family or like if he's just physically enjoys it. But he looks like he's having a great time. And he's the first person you see. Does it open with the Mushroom Planet? Yes.
Yes.
So he's the first person you see. And he just has so many quips throughout the entire movie. And he's enjoying himself as a villain and does not take it too seriously. Even though, he's deserted on a Mushroom Planet for almost a year. Yeah.
And Jim Carrey's always been able to go to the absurd and really embrace that. But I do think, this gave him kind of a new lease. It's something fun for him to do and he gets to explore. I read some quotes from him talking about like the Chaos Emerald part where Robotnik gets that power was a new fun thing for him to explore the character and take it in a different direction. So it's great to see him because he has such a wonderful energy about him when he wants to be doing something. And to go back to embracing this overacting, because he is overacting at the Jeremy Irons and Dungeons and Dragons level in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
good reference.
brilliant. It is absolutely what needs to be there. Because to balance off of Sonic, you got to be silly and over the top. And it's pitch perfect. Ben Schwartz is back as the voice of Sonic, and he is phenomenal. I love it. I also liked a little, and I didn't watch a lot of Parks and Rec, but there's a little Parks and Rec Easter egg in there when he talks about, is it Snow Dogs as the worst movie?
It's the worst. I'm like, oh, I looked at my wife and went like, oh no, he's just being John Ralphio at that point. So we were rewatching it while we were watching this. Like in tandem, it's just, and like, it's never like a voice actor thing. Sometimes it's like, oh no, an actor has a voice and you're hired to do that voice in this character. And he's doing the same thing. So the fact that he did that, it fit Sonic perfectly. It didn't take me out of it, but it was also like, you're just John Ralphio from Parks and Rec. So that was just a hilarious Easter egg. And I think just an easy bit that I wonder if he just straight up improv'd. Because I'm sure they didn't say, put this in the script. He just did it and they went like, oh, yep, that's good.
I think so. I did read too that he tried to sneak a "Don't be suspicious" in there, and Jeff Fowler was like, "Nah, we'll go with one. Two. That's one too many." But it was great. Speaking of voice acting, having a voice, Idris Elba is the voice of Knuckles. What a great choice!
Oh my gosh,
because he just. I read in the trivia now this does feel very much like the IMDb trivia that you'll see from any movie from like 1982 to 1995. If it's an action movie, we'll say that Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger were considered for the role. But I saw where it was John Cena, Dwayne Johnson were also considered for the voice of Knuckles.
Wow.
Whether or not they were actually, I don't know. But I could see either one of them doing it. But Idris Elba brings... Number one, he he even said, like, do I kind of sound like my voice for Heimdall? A little bit. But, you know, it's my voice, and that's just how it is. Some actors, when they do voice work, they kind of have those, like, 2 or 3 voices that they do. And because you get your Hank Azarias, right? Hank Azaria or Harry Shearer will do 8 different characters in an episode of The Simpsons, and none of them sound the same.
And you would never know it unless you knew it in the you know, in the credits.
And then you get like Mark Hamill is a wonderful voice actor, and he does about 3 or 4 different voices, but you can always tell it's Mark Hamill. And that's kind of how I feel with Idris Elba. When he pops up doing voice work in the few things that he's done, I'm like, that's definitely Idris Elba. He's doing some variation on his own voice, but it's perfect. But he figured out this cadence, and Knuckles reminded me of Drax.
It was kind of that same vibe, just big beefy. I mean, he's not big and beef, but you know, big strong guy who, you know, is maxed out in strength, and the intelligence is maybe not there.
Right. Yep. And takes everything literally, has no sense of humor, really, is unintentionally funny. And doesn't understand sarcasm. It's perfect. But Idris Elba, I love his voice, and he really brought a nice. There's this interesting warmth to Knuckles over the course of the movie, because he starts off, he's stoic all the time, but you get there's those little moments and those little cracks in it. That when he sees like Sonic go to help Tails instead of going after the Emerald, and he sees Sonic again kind of help him towards the end, and I liked the arc of Knuckles through this. It was a lot of fun.
And like him, and the whole overarching thing with Sonic and is about family, and families stick together no matter what, and just kind of like learning about, you know, Power Bump, the unbreakable promise, and him just kind of learning like, oh, it's more than just the quest, or more than just what I'm supposed to be doing. There's more to it than that. But even if you don't watch the film, just watch the baseball scene, the last like 5 minutes, because it's him just doing quip after quip about learning how to play baseball and what ice cream is.
Oh,
and
it's great.
That's hilarious. It's like, I beat you in base of ball.
Yep. Oh, I've got clips I'll play in a little bit, and there might be a couple of those there.
Idris Elba does a great job, and I think you're right, because it's part of this is like, it's recognizable because you want it to be like he's a world-class actor, and you're seeing him play this red echidna, and he's going to play it relatively absurdist, but like you mentioned, this stoic sense, and it's just, I do enjoy that instead of trying to hide that voice actor into something else. It's like, no, you're hearing Idris Elba play Knuckles, and it's amazing. And I know they did the TV show. I never watched the TV show, but I kind of want to.
I do too. Yeah, after watching this, I do. I saw it. I remember like seeing that it existed, and I thought, oh, that's cool. So they spun off that character. I need to watch that movie, and then so I might watch that series just for him. But like, and then we mentioned Colleen O'Shaughnessy, but Tails is a lot of fun. There is kind of stretches where characters do just sort of disappear. Like there's a whole bit where Tails kind of isn't around and then just sort of shows up in the red biplane, which I thought was great. That was one of the. So here's a few of the Sonic game Easter eggs that I clocked, that I remember, and a couple that I did read about as well. But the hologram of Sonic when Robotnik, who, by the way, Robotnik's stuck on the Mushroom Planet, right? He's been there for a year, 2 at this point.
Roughly, yeah.
But Agent Stone is still around and waiting for him to come back. So like Agent Stone knows that he's not dead, and set up his Mean Bean Cafe in Green Hills, which that one there is a allusion to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine. But I love like Agent Stone waiting for him and has everything set up. We don't get any indication of how or how he afforded to do any of that, but he's got this whole like layer inside the coffee shop, which is wonderful. But there's a hologram of Sonic at one point on a little holographic table, and it's Sonic tapping his foot in the way that like if you didn't do anything with Sonic for a while in the game, he would just sit there and cross his arms and tap his foot. I love that. The Mean Bean Cafe. There was I liked how Sonic doesn't like water and can't swim. And he can stay underwater by inhaling a bubble. I remember that from the games.
Yeah, that the water levels were terrible, and then that's how he had to go save Knuckles.
Yep. I did like that they didn't try to put in the music, thankfully, because that would have just given me anxiety.
Oh, absolutely. I think they knew everybody would just run out of the theater right there. That was awful. Oh my gosh.
I loved the manual gag inside the giant robot at the end, where
Yeah.
he holds up the manual. Like he mentioned, Robotnik mentions it to Stone, but then when he holds the manual up and it looks like a Sega Master System or Mega Drive / Genesis manual.
I even paused it because I went, does it say Sega at top in the text? And it says egg, like for Eggman, but in the Sega text up top for the manual, it's just,
great.
oh my gosh. That was a good bit. Tom's ringtone is the Green Hills theme, which is nice. I don't remember if that was in the first one too. Maybe it was. But that's a classic.
I feel like it was. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I could just be misremembering, but I feel like it was.
Yeah. What's it, Mandela Effect? I remember they played the music, but I don't know if the phone was there. I just remember being like, because they do it multiple times at the wedding, so it's just very specific. But that's just a core memory of mine, that song.
And this one also, this movie incorporated more like even more Easter eggs from the game, like levels. You got the Mushroom Planet, which is like the Mushroom Zone. The truck that Knuckles busts through when he's chasing them in the police car. Says Splash Hill Zone on the side of it. Yeah,
good catch. And I did read somewhere, I don't remember if this is true, but originally when they go to Siberia, and that was supposed to be what Ice Cap Zone or something like that.
Think
so. They thought about, I don't know, it keeps it grounded in the reality of Earth, right? You go to a real place and not just a made up location.
Yeah.
But like that, it felt very much like, okay, you're going to Ice Cap.
Same with the Secret Temple, right? The Labyrinth Zone. Or whatever from the first game is the hidden temple, but they put it somewhere near Hawaii, conveniently near Hawaii. I did notice that. That did crack me up when I'm like, oh, that's a good thing that wherever the temple is within sight lines of the island of Oahu. This one, okay, the music, the score is great. I don't have a problem with any problems with the score. It's enjoyable. It's not overly memorable. It's very much a background score, but there's a lot of needle drops in the movie. Right from the beginning, you get Run DMC's "It's Tricky." You've got my two favorites were because I love "It's Tricky." That's a great one. But my two favorites were when Robotnik starts to move his giant robot. They use the guitar riff from Pantera's "Walk," which is hilarious. And also there was a needle drop of Barracuda from Heart. This one, I didn't know this, but I read this and it cracked me up. So Barracuda is the song. There is a level select code for Sonic 3D Blast. So if you remember like the old Konami code, the up, up, down, down, you do your combination on your controller. The level select code for Sonic 3D Blast supposedly was BA right, AC up, down, A. Which if you spell all that out would be Barracuda with a 1R.
Wow, that's crazy.
That
is a fun Easter egg.
If they chose that song because of that, my hat is off to you people. Because that is a deep cut.
That is incredible. Sometimes like you're making this and Sega goes, hey, here's some things you can just consider. Or if it's, no, I've got professionals and we're going to do this. The other song that popped in is when they do the dance theme, when they do the dance in the Siberian pub bar. He goes, it's like music change, and then all of a sudden it's Uptown Funk. Well, him and Tails are dancing to the dance battle.
Yes. Yeah, that was so this here again is a case of we're going to call back to the first movie with Sonic going to a bar in disguise and then getting found out, and we have some sort of crazy sequence. But here, instead of it being the first movie was 2020, and it was definitely coming off the backs of things like a couple of the X-Men movies. So we had that super speed fight where everything moves in slow motion as Sonic is moving really, really fast. I'm really glad that they didn't just rehash that. They set up and had a similar thing, but then instead of that kind of a scene, we get the dance battle. And I thought that was super fun. And I also absolutely loved the guy that takes the challenge, stepping up, ripping his shirt off, and he's in a pose, and he has a tattoo of himself in that pose on his own chest. That killed
Because
me.
at that point, you still don't really know what it is. I forgot what the
No.
word is, but
Yeah.
so no one really knows what's about to happen. And then all of a sudden the music goes and he starts doing the dance. And it's a dance battle.
It's so absolutely silly, and I loved it.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. But I love the concept of, nobody speaks English in this bar, this, area.
Right.
And so they're trying to use Tails translation machine, and with hilarious. I always love like mistranslated comedy. It's always really funny, and no one really knows what's happening. And then they take off the clothes, and it's, what are these monsters?
Right.
To the fire to you.
Yep. And then of course the next day the storm is gone and it's perfectly clear and they can just get right to their location. And that's I love that kind of a trope in movies where you get somewhere and it's horrendous conditions and you're hopelessly lost and you have no idea where you're going and none of your equipment works, and then you get one odd scene and the next morning everything's fine again. And you're just like, nope, we can get where we want to go. Because that's what, it's an adventure, right? It's a globe-trotting adventure where they're going to all these locations. So you got to get there.
And hilarity must be afoot, and sometimes that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I have many, many clips I want to play from this movie because there was so much. Most of what Jim Carrey said at some point I probably clipped. We'll get to those. I'm going to save those because some of those are gold. But I loved... so Tom is not... Rachel is not a fan of Tom. And they do the Lando Han Solo greeting between Randall and Tom, which is always a fun trope. And then I love him being like, Rachel's not a fan of you. You got some work to do. And then Rachel walks up and their exchange.
I'm really glad you came.
Really?
Really? And Maddie like grabs his shoulder, like, calm down. That was really fun. Let's see.
I mean, after the first movie, it makes total sense.
Oh yeah. Oh,
100%. Oh man.
And for her to then, when Tails shows up and she's like, now there's two of them, was real good. I did love.
That's correct, ma'am. Every single aspect of Operation Catfish was a complete fabrication.
Operation Catfish. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it.
Nope.
They're
called Gun.
They're called Gun. That was such a good exchange. I have that.
That day, Guardian Units of Nations was born.
G-U-N, seriously.
Gun, yeah.
Tom Butler as Commander Walters is wonderful. These are the moments in the movie where you can just kind of just turn your brain off and enjoy the spectacle of what's going on. That is incredibly silly, and the movie even points it out to you. Which,
of course, there's an absurdist general character.
Yeah. There has to be.
Needs to be. We hate aliens, so we're just gonna create our own organization, and that's it. That's what we are.
Let's see. Oh, I do like. So they go to Hawaii. Tom and Maddie go. Number one, really, really handy to have Sonic around to just have rings that can send you anywhere in the planet. Saves a lot of money on travel costs and time.
Portals are great.
Yeah. I love that they go there, and then later that evening, Tom calls back, and I just liked.
Oh, I was just calling to say we're here.
Yeah, of course. We know. Sonic knows you're there. It's not like he didn't drop you at the airport. He dropped you at the hotel. We can see it in the background. So that made me laugh quite a bit.
But also just the classic, another classic trope of, I'm going to have a house party, ruin everything. Oh, I'm getting a FaceTime call. Now I have to speed clean everything up. And then the dog walks by with a bunch of suds because he was essentially turned the living room to a giant bathtub.
Yes. Now, again, nitpicky hat. The movie likes to use Sonic's speed when it's convenient, and suddenly when it's plot relevant, he doesn't use his speed. But that's not a problem for Sonic the Hedgehog. That is a problem for super speed characters in stories in general. Like if you think about certain situations with somebody like, say, the Flash, his speed should get him out of basically everything ever. It's a overpower deal. I'm fine with it. But at the same time, it was one of those where I'm like, well, yeah, but if he's fast enough to be able to clean up that entire house, because it was a disaster area, why can't he outrun the avalanche later? But he can run on water. Like, so, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I loved the trope of, oh, mom and dad are away. I'm gonna have the house to myself and wreck everything. And but he's cleaning it up at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much he can do wrong, and eats so many chili dogs too.
Oh yeah, so many chili dogs. Let's see, what did I have here? So a few Sonic lines that were pretty good is the opening. Like I said, somewhat because we cold opened on Robotnik on the Mushroom Planet. Then we had a kind of a second cold open of Sonic in Seattle, and that's where again you could. I say you keep the cold open with Robotnik because we've got to establish him and get him back to Earth. Mm-hmm. But then maybe just get to Sonic and Green Hill. But we need some sort of a minor conflict with him and Tom to be able to have their conversation. So I get it. But I did love...
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't speak duct tape.
I don't speak duct tape.
He tears it off the guy's mouth. Oh, my gosh.
And then the bombs. Oh, that's fine. They're not lit. They all light at the same time.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna die. Something like that.
Did you check under the seat? Of course I checked under the seat.
Did you check under the seat? That's always a great one. The movie. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say at the whole end of that. I don't know if you're gonna go there, but just like you're a terrible hero.
Oh yeah. No, that was hilarious. Blue justice.
No need to thank me, citizens. All in a night's work for Blue Justice.
You're a terrible hero!
I didn't mean to step on your cliff.
No. That was a great moment. One thing I noticed, so this movie's rated PG. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You don't see a lot of G-rated movies anymore. It's usually PG these days. I found it hilarious that they skirted around swearing twice in the first 10 minutes. Because you had Sonic say,
"Holy Sherbert!"
And I have another one from Robotnik that I'll play in a bit that they did. But that was within the first 10 minutes of the movie. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, PG, sure. Somehow, and that's the MPA, like, it's so arbitrary what they will make PG or PG-13 or R. Depends movie to movie.
It's one of those things where it's like in the script, I mean, it's not underlined probably. You're just kind of going off of what the word is, and the actor or the director is saying, have fun with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, inherently, holy Sherbert's not a bad word. And no. I'm not going to step on the other one, but that one's hilarious too. It took me a second to realize, like, oh, I see what you did there.
Yep.
Mushroom puns.
I loved, what was it? Tails throughout the movie has it's so Sonic to do this, or only Sonic the Hedgehog would do whatever. But I liked this exchange. This is when they're sitting at the table in Siberia.
Wait, so you've been watching me this whole time? Even in the shower?
Ah, that's a trick question. Sonic the Hedgehog prefers bubble baths.
That's a little creepy, but okay. Sure.
Yep. Yep. It's a trick question.
Sonic sneaking out. I like that Sonic sneaks out. Tom knows, but they didn't do the trope of Tom waiting for him to come home and be waiting there when he got home in the morning. Instead, it was until they got out on the fishing boat where he confronts him about it. And he doesn't get angry with him. He's just like, you got to be careful. It's irresponsible. You got to be better than that. But he's doing a really good job of parenting in that moment. But I just loved, a couple of their exchanges here.
How many times are we going to do this?
What? Cast your line and not catch anything? Seems like a billion.
Like, that's very much a kid out fishing with his dad.
Yep.
So that was funny.
And like, you're about to, he doesn't recognize he's about to get, like a stern talking to, but that's not a good way to open.
No, not really.
Wait a second. Did you steal that from Oprah?
No, sir. That is a Wachowski family special.
He gives him really good advice. And I did like that. That comes back later. That was real funny. But I love we get the flashback to Tom being like, yeah, I came up in your room last night because I was going to give you some new comic books. And you've got fake Sonic reading the newspaper with the recording. Not gonna fool anybody. Like the newspaper's upside down, the tape gets all messed up. But I did love snapping back to him in the boat and him saying,
Ugh, I knew I should have used real farts.
That's the thing he thinks gave him away, was his fake farts on his tape. It's perfect.
Oh my God. It was just so funny because like I've had one too many chili dogs.
Yeah.
Yep, stay back.
Okay. So I'm watching the movie, and during that scene in the boat, this exchange happens between Tom and Sonic.
You destroyed an entire city block.
That block was already messed up. Who cares?
It's a good line, right? The block was already messed up. Here's my brain. My brain immediately went to, I know that line. I wonder if that was possibly an allusion to this moment from a different movie. I'm going to play the clip. We'll see if you know the movie that it's from.
You destroyed half a city block.
That block was already messed up.
That is from a little movie from 1998 called Rush Hour.
Oh.
And that is Chris Tucker. And the second I heard Sonic say, but that block was already messed up, I'm like, did they? I don't know if they did or not, but I'm hopeful because that was awesome.
That's too close to not be. That's a really good reference.
Yeah, I really hope it is. I also love this in especially movies, like adventure movies, is moments like this.
According to this map, the first clue is in Siberia.
I saw that map. I don't see anything telling me that there's a clue anywhere in Siberia, but I don't.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not? We had Rachel. I just have one or two from her, but this was again PG movie, and they let this go in.
Hold on, Major A-hole.
Major A-hole gets in the movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was really good, and that is after she does her golf cart moment, which again, it's not necessary for the movie, and if you cut that shot out, it doesn't change anything, but boy, did it look badass when she does the golf cart power slide, stepping out of the cart. Like it's straight out of a cheeseball action movie of like stepping out of the car, and then it hits everything behind it and explodes. I loved that so much. Oh my
gosh. Oh, and I think she even says, like, talking about getting close to cursing. Doesn't she say like "Hell hath no fury than a woman scorned" or something like that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does. She has that, and she has a "What the hell is going on?" as well. But hey,
rightfully so. She should be really pissed.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I like Wade.
Oh yeah, Adam Pally's character.
Adam Pally's great. Wade is great. Wade does not need to be in this movie at all. There's literally nothing that he does has any real relevance, but
like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
He referenced Ghostbusters, so I'm fine.
That's so I wanted to get into, and stop me if you want to do this in a bit. The amount of pop culture references in this movie is pretty high. And I mean, I'm always a big fan when you create a movie in a universe just like this, that's not our own. Mm-hmm. What pop culture references are consistent throughout? So in now Sonic's world, Ghostbusters exists.
Yes.
Tom mentioned while you're out there pretending to be Batman, like he likes comic books, Batman exists. The Ghostbusters reference. There's a few others I have here, but stop me unless you want me to keep going.
No, keep going.
Because that was one I just started writing them down. Like, wow, there's a lot in here. I believe in the first one that we did, we noticed he's watching Speed.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because Keanu Reeves then becomes Shadow in the third one. So that's kind of a weird parallel. But during the dance battle, he's like, oh my God, it's a dance fight. Then he said Channing Tatum makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
A Magic Mike reference.
So you got Channing Tatum and Magic Mike. Uptown Funk is a song that exists in this world.
Yeah. When the owl, they learned about the owls and the echidnas fighting through the centuries through the hologram. He goes like Vin Diesel and The Rock. So you got Fast and Furious. Okay, great. The Winter Soldier. I mean, I'm just saying, we just keep going through all of these. Like, it's enough of them, and mostly by Sonic. I mean, the Ghostbusters reference was by Wade, but a lot of them is just this is all and like I take that in the world of we exist now in this universe. So
Yes.
it's just kind of funny how they are willing to go that direction, because if the Winter Soldier exists, that means the Avengers exist. And I mean, does he know who Quicksilver is, and could he win in a race against Quicksilver?
I'm going to say yes. I don't think he could beat the Flash, but I think he could beat Quicksilver. Depending on which version of Quicksilver.
It's true. The song does say he's the fastest thing alive. So
there you go. One more nitpick I want to give is there are some moments of very exposition dump that feel a little bit like we're being talked to as the audience to get some of that in there. And it's fine. It's just something that I notice. It's all in how you deliver exposition. Like, if it's a character telling another character something that they definitely don't know, I'm okay with it. But sometimes it just feels like, oh, we've got to have this scene in here to explain for the audience. Thankfully, because we have new characters involved here, that happens in a way that never feels overly forced, except for one moment, and that was when the map gives the suddenly the map gets activated. And we get the background for the Chaos Emeralds, and Longclaw shows up. And the only reason I say that is he's had this map for how long now? And what triggered it was my question.
Yeah.
Why did it all of a sudden do this now at this very moment? That I found funny. But again, I'm nitpicking, right?
The plot said it's important, so now it's important.
Yes. Much like being able to use your equipment. So
I pinpointed the coordinates. It's right up ahead.
Perfect. Last night you had no idea where you were. Now you know exactly where to go. I love it.
Thank you. It's the MacGuffin. He's got Chekhov's gun. He's got the remote that can do literally anything it needs to do at any given point in time.
Yep. This was one more Rachel. It's another fun trope where you give somebody like a device that they don't know how it works, and then it works in a way that they weren't expecting. And I just loved.
I did not mean to do that.
And then just runs away. It's a great kind of, it's almost a Deus Ex Machina moment, because Maddie is absolutely captured there, and then this thing comes in, saves her. I didn't mean to do that, and then we move on. Hand wave it, and we're good.
Yep. It's like her with the gun. It's like, do you even know what that does? Oh, we're about to find out.
Right. I loved that. I also like Maddie.
All this happened since yesterday?
All this happened since yesterday. The movie is very self-referential. Like, it understands the silliness of it. And I think without being too much, like, it's winking at the audience, but more in a way that parents are going to notice. The kids aren't. And so it's not, I don't think it goes too far in that.
Well, and they yes and through it, so you don't have to have another 2-minute conversation about what the heck's happening.
Right.
It's just, okay, we'll keep going.
Yeah. What was this one? Goat's milk is what I labeled this.
I never stopped steaming your Austrian goat's milk.
Oh, right. Agent Stone. Agent Stone cracked me up because he's just ridiculous.
Dr. Robotnik, when he drinks the coffee he gives him coffee for the first time, and he goes, needs more mushroom.
Yes.
And just Dr. Stone goes, and like there's not really an exchange there, just okay.
We mentioned Knuckles. I like there's 3 nicknames he gets throughout the movie from different characters.
And who is Clifford the Big Red Rage Monster?
So you got Clifford the Big Red Dog, Clifford the Big Red Rage Monster, which I wonder how many kids recognize that one.
That one feels like not low-hanging fruit, but that should be like, hey, kids, if you read Clifford. Now, granted, kids nowadays may not be reading Clifford the Big Red Dog like we did as kids.
I don't know. You mentioned this one, but...
Oh, great. The Winter Soldier.
That was funny. And we had to have... that was another one, Sonic snowboarding. That was from games, and him just using like things to skate or snowboard. He does a lot of that. And that was a fun set piece. The whole snowboarding down the mountain thing. It feels like
Sorry, you go first.
I was just gonna say it does feel like we've done some exposition, so now we got to have an action sequence. Here's the set piece and go. But that's the type of movie we're doing, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just always nice when you have a giant temple on a mountain. You're gonna definitely have an avalanche, and you're gonna have to snowboard. It's just it's how it needs to be.
That's how you get
very exciting stuff, and then getting around all the drones and stuff. And it is nice, like Dr. Robotnik. It has a lot of robots, so you're not like fighting too many like henchmen or whatever.
Right.
All the henchmen are drones, so it's like okay, you can have fun with beating up robots.
Mm-hmm. And we also had Dr. Robotnik call Knuckles.
Hey, little red wrecking ball.
Little red wrecking ball. I like that one. It's just Knuckles in general. Like this was the moment that really reminded me of like Drax. It's that type of character that, again, you kind of mentioned it, like big, strong, not very smart, but also like no sense of humor, no sense of sarcasm when he's hanging off the side of the mountain when Robotnik comes up to him.
You think these machines are a match for me? I will shatter them like the bones from a fallen... Oh, they are stairs.
So well delivered too. Oh
yeah, the delivery on that one was expert. For it sounds like, hey, I'm gonna, you can't beat me, you can't defeat me, I can get out of my own. Oh, you're helping me, okay.
Yeah. I always capture fake laughs and stage laughs, and Knuckles has a good one. That's a real good laugh. That's a real good, because that's the laugh of a character who doesn't really know how to laugh, like genuinely. And it's perfect. It's perfect for Knuckles. I also like him calling Agent Stone.
What about your minion, the goat milker?
With complete sincerity, he calls him the goat milker. That's the best part about that.
How did you move forward despite failing again and again and again and again and again?
Okay, I didn't fail that much.
He's just he's so sincere in everything he says. It's brilliant.
And he legitimately was counting. He's like, no, you did fail all of those times. I am counting the specific moments.
Oh yes, he is always technically correct.
The best type of correct.
Yep. I love when they're on the plane and Tails is like, "Are you sure it was a good idea to bring you-know-who along?" And the whole like, hey, he's not a bad guy, he's just mixed up. And you get the first part of it, which is, I am not mixed up. I am just very, very focused, and that's difficult for people. And then then under his breath,
I was completely uninjured, and my revenge will come when you least expect it, Fox.
He does not forget, nor does he forgive.
Nope.
And Tails, the avalanche scene has to happen the way that it does. Like Tails has to be knocked out for that. Otherwise, obviously, they can just fly away. But I love Tails being able to fly, and I love the use of it. But this was my favorite moment.
Oh, you're really heavy.
That's because I am 1,000,000% muscle.
I just love that. Because 1,000,000%. Okay.
It was great. And the whole bit towards the end with the fight, but then the Chaos Emeralds, and we get Sonic to power up, right? He goes Super Saiyan, and he becomes Blonde Sonic, Golden Sonic.
Golden Sonic.
Which is awesome. But I liked how, again, I love a good trope subversion, and you know it's coming. You can see it coming. But they go to hug him, and Knuckles is like, no, you can't. He's not the Sonic you once knew, because of all of that. And then...
Okay, he's exactly the Sonic you once knew.
As he threw a chili dog right at him.
Yep.
And that's after, he becomes supersonic. You have a really big emotional moment thinking that he's defeated. Chaos Emeralds come through, or the Master Emerald comes through. So they did change it in the game versus the movie. What it was, Sonic becomes supersonic in the games, and you collect all the Chaos Emeralds.
Yep.
The Master Emerald's slightly different, whatever. They just kind of put it all together. You still hand waved all of this, and it worked out perfectly fine. I had no problems with it.
No.
But then he's this giant fight, defeats Dr. Robotnik. It's very, very, emotional and very dramatic. And then that happens, he just chucks a chili dog at Knuckles and goes, "Nah, I'm the same."
Yep, you gotta. That's Sonic right there. Like you have to be able to bring it back because he's still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But there to a point is kind of what I was talking about earlier with the adaptation, in that they changed a little bit of the lore for the emeralds, but it fits the story much better to have those emeralds. I liked that the giant emerald, when it collapsed, you saw the smaller emeralds in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they already set that up, that those emeralds were fused into this one emerald. Mm-hmm. So I liked that, and then him being able to refuse it later. But it fits better because this wasn't a movie of go out and collect. The story wasn't go out and collect the emeralds. It was no, there's one here. This is our MacGuffin. We got to go get.
And it being locked away made sense. Hey, they're all put together. Very, very Dragon Ball in that sense, almost.
Yeah.
But the fact that they did show it, this is what happens when it's crumbled. It all goes inside of him, and then that's how it becomes supersonic. So I think that worked out. You don't need to do add this whole additional layer to the Sonic lore part of it. Everyone kind of was okay with it.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the baseball at the very end, a little denouement, and I loved that with things like,
I am having the fun.
I am having the fun. And also,
what a perfect meal to celebrate my victory over you in base of ball.
It's great.
It's good.
Absolutely.
And
wonderful.
the fact that he just punches the ball.
Oh yeah. This was cool. I liked this moment. This is where Tails and Sonic are driving away in the car, and Knuckles ends up on top of it, and they're at that cliff, and the door's ripped off, and Tails looks out. Now Tails knows that he can fly, and I just love this exchange.
I've got an idea. Do you trust me?
Of course not. I literally just met you.
Of course not.
so well delivered. I just adored that. Before I get to Robotnik, I'm going to. I got a lot. He was great. The dog. Tom and Maddie have a dog. The dog is with Sonic when they leave. We see it wakes Sonic up, right? Or licks Sonic's face, like when he sneaks into the bedroom at the beginning. Then he's with him on the couch, and then shows up at the very end. Now, it's the same dog all the way through. But they gave that dog 3 different names. And there's nothing in the credits. I looked in the credits like, well, what's the dog credited as? Nothing. So I couldn't find that. But the beginning of the movie, when the dog comes up and starts licking his face when he sneaks into bed, this was the clip.
Fozzie.
Does that sound like Fozzie to you?
Yeah. Fozzie or Ozzy? Yeah.
So
Fozzie, yeah.
So there's that. Well, then later on the couch, when they're about to watch a movie.
All right, Ozzy.
That's clearly Ozzy. Right? So we've got.
All right, Ozzy.
But also.
Ozzy.
I could maybe see those both being Ozzy. You could convince me that the first one says Ozzy. End of the movie. They get done playing baseball. The dog comes running up to Maddie, and she bends down to ruffle the dog's ears and all of that and says, let's go get some ice cream. She says this.
You too, baby.
Big B. She called the dog Big B. That bothered me more than it should have.
What is the dog's name?
What the hell is this dog's name? Or is it 3 different dogs? I need to know. So yeah, it just, when she said that, I was like, hold on. And I rewound it a couple of times, and then I went back earlier in the movie and listened again, and I'm like, that is not Big B, and she is clearly not saying Ozzy. I don't know what this dog's name is anymore.
That's too funny. I never noticed that. I never noticed dogs like pet names in movies, though. I just kind of like hand wave it, but that's a real one.
Now, Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik. I'm not going to play all of these because we'll be here forever if I do. I could have literally clipped basically every moment of Jim Carrey in this movie because he's just going for it. But little things like some of these I'm going to put on my soundboard to just have at a moment's notice. Like,
greetings.
You never know.
Greetings is great, right? It's a good opening. This was a nice reference, and the trivia in IMDb about this particular line cracked me up. I'm going to play it first, and then I'll tell you what was funny about it.
Katu Barada Nikto.
So he says that. Already hilarious. But the IMDb trivia about it was like, that line was a reference to Army of Darkness and Ash saying that as a way to do the spell to go home. But it was actually from, and it like named all of it. So Klaatu Barada Nikto was from a book, but it is most famously from the movie, from the Day the Earth Stood Still. It was what the character said in reference to his robot Gort. If you've ever seen The Day the Earth Stood Still from 1951, it's a fantastic old sci-fi movie. But in that, he tells Gort, Klaatu Barada Nikto. And that is what he said. So I love, and then they famously use that in Army of Darkness, but with Ash unable to remember the last word. So in Army of Darkness, it's played for a joke because he kept saying Klaatu Barada necktie, and he can't get it right. So, but it was fun to see that call back in here.
Wow, what a reference!
Yeah. Again, layers, right? There's layers to some of these references. Let's see. This was towards the end of the movie, but this again is Robotnik and Agent Stone and their relationship, which from the first movie, I don't remember it being all that much. Stone was kind of more or less a yes man, but they got along, like their characters just worked together. So it's fun to have him just continuously being this sycophantic person that's just like all about Dr. Robotnik. So I did love.
Sir, you're magnificent.
Thank you, sycophant. Your admiration is inevitable.
Your admiration is inevitable.
Wow.
Robotnik is so good.
And this is when he has ultimate power at this point, right?
Yes, because they did that like fun little modulation to his voice that I got. I also love.
Oh, goody.
Like that's just there's so many moments in this of Jim Carrey that had to have been just letting him play, letting him ad-lib and have some fun.
What do you say we just let bygones be bygones? I did some things, you did some things. There are good people on both sides.
When he realizes he's about to meet his match. And he no longer has the Chaos Emerald, or the Master Emerald, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
This was right in the beginning. He's on the Mushroom Planet.
It's time to say goodbye to this piece of shiitake planet!
And that's when he's talking to Stone, but it's a little carved out rock, you know, a la Wilson.
Yep. It was very, very good.
So it's just like, yeah, that's just so great because that's literally first 3 to 5 minutes of the movie, just straight up piece of shiitake planet.
Yep. When he does come back to Stone's Mean Bean Cafe,
Papa's got a brand new stash.
Because now he's clean shaven and he's got the giant, Robotnik Eggman mustache. It's wonderful. It's even bigger. Like it's so much bigger because it's what he had at the very end of the last movie.
And he gets more like the game Dr. Robotnik as the movies go on.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. Another nickname he gave to Knuckles. I forgot about this one.
You dim-witted celestial skin tag.
That's an ad-lib. Nobody wrote that. Nobody wrote dim-witted celestial skin tag. But that's pretty good.
Wow.
Also,
which means x squared times the hypotenuse of y squared divided by the absolute value of friendship equals Dookie.
Dookie. Which is great because now I have this.
Dookie.
Forever. Another pop culture reference that I'm sure most people, if they saw this of a certain age, would have caught is this one.
I don't want to die like this! It's derivative!
When he's running away from the giant ball, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I just love it. I don't want to die like this. It's derivative. Fourth wall breaking. Oh, lovely.
Especially from him. That whole bit was great just because of all the traps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love the traps. Again, this is your PG movie, mind you. And you get...
So glad it didn't cut off my mustache.
As he looks down. Like, ooh, sneaking that one in there. That is that's some Animaniacs level sneaking it past standards and practices.
Well, and that's coming right off of, there's a trap every 7 seconds. And right before he finishes it, the giant knife goes right across. And he's like, it's a little sooner.
Yeah. Oh, that was a little early.
Yeah, that's it.
I liked, this was great because this is funny on a few different levels. And it's also mildly educational.
A more advanced intellect would have seen this move coming a mile away. Or 1.6 kilometers.
And it's mildly educational because of the conversion. I like that. And I like that it's funny because he's very sarcastic with it. But Robotnik is the kind of guy that would absolutely like hammer home his point by doing that to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would give you it in imperial and metric.
Yep.
So that really got to me.
And brag that he can do the conversion without any sort. I mean, it was one, but still. So funny.
Again, I get stage laughs. I get movie laughs. Jim Carrey is great at that. So we had this little chuckle. That's pretty good. But in one string, he did the following 3 laughs consecutively. That's all in a row. He did those back to back to back.
That's
and
crazy.
They killed me. It as I'm watching this and it happens, I'm like, oh, that's a good. Oh, that's a better. Oh, that's even better. Like it was like the right left combo. I was getting punched by him. He had so many weird noises and sounds throughout the movie too. There was the laughs, the running gag of Knuckles shaking hands.
Yeah.
Because
breaking everyone's hands.
Well, because early on, when they go to make their accord, he tells him,
around here we simply grip each other's hands tightly.
Why would you say that? First of all,
yes,
but
exactly.
You would just say shake hands, but it's perfect because then he does. Bones crunching.
Yeah. I think he said like, "That's my favorite hand" or something like that.
You broke my favorite hand.
That's it.
But then he does it later to Stone, and Robotnik's like, that means he trusts you. And then to do it to Sonic for the 3rd time, they get that rule of 3s in there, was real good. So you had that. You had, again, another pop culture reference.
It's been on my vision board for years. It's a law of attraction. Didn't you see The Secret?
Didn't you see The Secret? I'm not sure how many people watching this movie of the target age would know what the hell he's talking about. But I do remember that. But I love he says that and then follows up with the little mind blow of
Kaplooey.
Which is very funny. Kaplooey. Just sounds funny.
That's another good one just to have in the back pocket.
Oh yeah. Also, that's a real good one. That's when he was resetting his knuckles after them getting broken. So I have that. Also, a great scream.
They did a really good job with these.
Yeah. Or the little zap noise too. I love him early on. He's got the quill and he keeps like touching it to his tongue and just giving himself
zapping himself.
Yeah. It's like he's got a 9-volt battery and he just can't help himself. He's just got to give it that little bit so you get Aye.
There's even a bit when he's got the Chaos Emerald and stones right behind him, and he's just filled with of lightning. He's like, "Pardon my lightning," as he just keeps shocking him in the back.
Oh yeah,
almost like, "Oh wait, you don't like being shocked all the time?"
Oh, he had this one too when they show up at in Siberia. When they show he and Knuckles show up at the temple. Just a nice little yodel.
Yep. Get the attention going.
Yep. And finally, the last one I got, when Sonic goes golden and he stops he cuts the top off of his giant robot, which was wonderful. I love the design of that robot. So he cuts the top off of it. He wrecks one hand. He wrecks the other hand. He shoots through it all. messes it up, and then he comes right up to the top of it and just taps his foot on there. And just the reaction.
Oh, it's like that?
It was so good. Just such
I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
But just the sheer supersonic going through all the metal just to destroy it and just said one little toe tap.
Yep.
You're done.
Yeah, this movie's a lot of fun, and it looks really good too. And I think that's an important thing to point out is there's a very good overall mix of the live action and animation and CG really incorporated well. And they did that very well in the first movie. And I think what they did here was they just improved upon it. There was only a couple of times where they did kind of a CG double of, say, Robotnik. For the most part, all of the CG characters are Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and the bots. And so there's only maybe one point, and I think it's when Tails comes inside the robot and you've got all the copies where Robotnik is zapping them all, where it's like, oh, that's not Jim Carrey, that's a CG double. But they did such a good job of integrating everything together that I thought looked wonderful. And I love the designs because it is bright and colorful, and it should be. Like, I don't want muted colors here. I don't want drab or more grounded things. I want bright blue, bright red, all of that. When he goes green, everything changes and that gets that green tinge to it. It's perfect.
Yeah, that was really good how they and even changed his costume, his outfit. It was a good change. And all that fight happened in like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes maybe. It was very short. But it worked.
Yeah. And again, as we sort of mentioned, like you could cut about 20 to 30 minutes out of this movie without losing any of that end. Because we have kind of a mini climax at the Chaos Emerald, the Master Emerald, and then a secondary climax with Robotnik, where he makes his giant robot. But there's the subplot of Hawaii. It's fine because you've got to go to all your different locations. It reminds me a bit of what the old James Bond films did, right? A lot of if you go back and watch an old James Bond movie, what you'll notice is there's a lot of shots of just James Bond walking around in places because they were these like grand adventure films where he would go to Cairo and he would go somewhere else in the Middle East and he would go Southeast Asia, and it was to show off these locations. And this movie does that. It harkens back to those, which I did like. I just think that, again, trim a few things or give us some sort of a wrap up, like not seeing Randall and Rachel again. I wish they would have just shown up at the end.
Yeah, even just that. Even if not even like the baseball scene, but I guess you didn't really know how to wrap that up without having some sort of resolution to what their marriage was, or if they got married. You know what I mean?
True.
I think there was one of those like, man, if we try to do this, we have to reintroduce another 10 minutes of content.
And don't tell me, but I'm very curious to see if there's anything involving that or how Gunn is involved in the third movie, because there was the mid-credits sequence. I love the end credits, by the way. The Sonic 16-bit style credits was awesome. I think they did that in the first movie too, if I remember right.
Yeah, and it kind of goes with what the movie was, and they do it in the various different game styles. I watched before we did this. I actually just jumped on, so I wanted to watch it again, just the ending credits, because it's fun. It's just exciting to see.
It is. It's fun I love when credits. That's a favorite of mine is when the end credits of a film will give you sort of a Cliff's Notes version of the story. But in a different style, and I liked it here. It really worked. But then we get a mid-credit sequence of Shadow and setting up yet another sequel. So I'm very curious to see where that goes. And also if there's anything with Rachel and Randall in that. Well, I'll find out when I watch it. Because you saw it. But we're going to do that at some point. Just so you know and everyone else knows. We will be talking about Sonic 3 because I really... end of the day, I enjoy these movies. For all the nitpicking that I'll do and flaws, that I do very tongue-in-cheek because it does not take away from the enjoyment of the movie. I don't go into a Sonic the Hedgehog movie expecting, something that is going to wow the critics and win Oscars. I don't want that. I want fun. And these movies deliver on the fun.
And, just to say that, hey, maybe is it a year or is it, a couple months from now? We'll figure that out. But Sonic 4 does come out in March of 27. So,
okay, well,
got
then we're on
that
clock.
one to look forward to. Yes.
Yeah.
Got a year before before Sonic 4, which, well, I won't say because that's another mid-credit scene that introduces, somebody else. I do like how they've consistently done that because they feel pretty confident about having another movie. So there you go. But yeah, I won't spoil much about 3 because a lot of that is part of the storyline. So and enjoy watching it.
But it works, right? The movies do well enough. They have a good built-in fan base, but they are also of a broad enough appeal because they're a fun adventure that kids are going to enjoy doing it, going to enjoy watching them. The movie, this felt a little bit more mature than the first movie. So the kids that watch that first movie get a couple years older. So you throw in a few more jokes, you throw in a few more things that nods to that. And you're getting the parents and you're getting the folks that are my age that remember the first Sonic the Hedgehog game playing it. So, and everybody involved in it wanting to be there and enjoying making the movie. And that comes through in the end product.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So yeah. And I also want to watch the series. I want to watch Knuckles because that.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and see.
Elba.
Yeah, and if there's any other characters or this is a solo adventure, what kind of situation it is. Because also getting all the characters is wildly expensive for a TV show. But I kind of want to go back and watch it. It was just the one season, right?
Yeah. Yep, okay. It was. I also think that embracing the look and the silliness of things and ramping it up. So going from what Robotnik was in the first movie, which is over the top and outlandish, but still a somewhat more grounded look, but he's becoming looking more like the Dr. Eggman of the games by this movie. Yeah. And I have seen trailers and a clip from the third movie, so I know that he even gets a little bit more there, and there's something with, I think, his dad as well, or grandfather or something, another Eggman. So, like, there's that aspect of it. I also appreciate them not throwing all of the characters all at once. We got Sonic and Robotnik in the first movie. And now we've got Sonic, Robotnik, Tails, and Knuckles. And we tease Shadow. And I know there's different characters, but I like slowly bringing them along. This is how you do these kinds of expanded universes that works. That's why the MCU worked so well when it started, because it didn't try to throw it all in at once. It gave us a little here and a little there, and then eventually get them all together. When DC, as the example of trying to catch up with that, or Universal's Dark Universe, when they put out The Mummy, they tried to stuff too much world building outside of that story into The Mummy, where they hadn't earned that yet. Like Iron Man starts the MCU and it works because it's Iron Man. And yeah, there might be an Easter egg here or there, a nod to a character name, but it's basically Tony and a villain. And that's it. And that's all you needed. So they're smart to do it this way. And I appreciate that from a film franchise, because just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah. And they could have easily been like, well, the first movie made a bunch of money. Let's way overdo it. And let's just add everything to the second movie. No. Keep them wanting a little bit more and slowly expand it so that you actually can care about the characters in your story.
Yeah. Each character gets its own way to build the, especially with Knuckles, because it's supposed to be villain turn,
yes.
Not hero, but like villain, having the two sides there. And you have to have that by itself. You can't just then also introduce a bunch of characters. And I mean, the Sonic roster is gigantic at this point.
Right.
So interested to see how 4 is going to do it, especially when you start adding more lore bits into it. But without really being a spoiler, I mentioned 2 kind of went deeper into what the lore was and more how wacky and zany it is.
Yeah.
3 does the same thing. You just add a little bit more as you go on. And it still doesn't feel too terrible. You're still grounded with the people and grounded with the characters that you've established, but you're adding a little bit more and you're willing to, again, go with it because you've understood what the process was so far. But you still have your same characters. They all still do the same thing, and you're introducing something else. And you're right. It's world building. It takes time. If that's going to come out in 27, 4 movies in 7 years, yeah.
That's not bad.
You can't just go ahead and try to get that instant gratification and try to get that MCU, check mark right off the bat, because it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Can't do
and the MCU didn't start off as the MCU. It started off as Iron Man. They bet on that hoping that it would do well. It did enough to warrant more movies, but they took however like 4 or 5 years to get to the Avengers. Like they didn't make one movie and then immediately go, well, here's the team up. No, we're gonna slowly build that, and it's the smart way to go. And I think also the Sonic showed in 2020 that you can adapt a video game to a film, have it be broad appeal without pandering and talking down.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed something like Super Mario Brothers movie to get made. I feel like, because there was a period of time where people were just not going to make the Super Mario Brothers movie. Like it was always going to happen, but it needed something like Sonic really put that to where, okay, yep, let's go for it. This did well. We can do it well. And that movie's now getting a sequel as well.
Yeah. Well, then you do that, and then all of a sudden that spins off, not spins off, but then that pushes what the Minecraft movie was. And you do that same kind of concept. And it probably is, you're kind of right. I think Sonic was kind of that ground zero experiment that worked. And you could see with multiple sequels, how you can make it work without it being necessary to be a trilogy or something like that. It's like, we're going to keep building movies like TV series until they stop becoming popular.
Yeah. And these first 2 movies are, self-contained. There's connective tissue between them, but each movie is its own thing. You don't have to have seen the first movie to understand the second movie.
Exactly.
It helps, but you don't have to. You could drop somebody into this and it's fine. And that's how you adapt something. And also, I think is very smart to not try and take the first Sonic the video game and make that a movie. They took the character and they made a story around the character. They use elements from the games. They use moments from it, but they don't try to adapt that storyline. I talked about that with like the Borderlands movie. For as many flaws as that movie had, they didn't just try to take the first Borderlands game and make it into a movie. They adapted the world into a story. That's, I think, what works. That's why the Mario Brothers movie for me was enjoyable, because they did just create a world and then build a story inside that world.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you, especially with something like a video game, that's how you need to adapt it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want that story, you can just go play that game.
Yeah. And because it's a video game, you are adjusting what that story is, or you're being a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to create exposition, that changes the whole dynamic. So you have to build something within that, but using the elements. You're 100% correct on that.
Yeah, and I mean, stay true to what you're adapting, but make it its own story, because a movie is different from a video game. So I really enjoyed this movie. This was a lot of fun, and it was fun to get to chat with you again. It's been a year or so, and that's too long. Yeah. We'll do Sonic 3 before the year is up. I'll say that right.
Okay. I like that. I like that. It's about to be March. This year's flying by so far. So I look forward to it. I'll definitely watch Sonic 3 again, because that was a blast as well.
Awesome. Well, now I do this show weekly, but what are you up to? What have you got that you can maybe tell people about that's going on?
Oh, so just podcast producer, an editor. I work on shows like Split Zone Duo, Bay Area Examiner's series of podcasts, a few others here and there. I have a link tree, Anthony Vito _ if you want to go ahead and check out more. That's pretty much. I love jumping on random shows, and especially talking about things I like this. That's why I like your show a lot. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, as always, thank you for being here. If you enjoy this show and you're listening to it, I do this weekly, every week, for 7 years now, 8 years, however, 350 something episodes. And I do it live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TVsTravis. Just keep an eye out on social medias to when that's going to happen. Typically around 8 o'clock in the evening on Sundays, some days like today, a little bit earlier. And then it comes out as a show on Wednesdays everywhere you get your podcasts, a video form on YouTube. If you want to get the show a few days earlier, you can do that via Patreon, patreon.com/WYHS. That patron, becoming a patron gets you shows a little bit earlier, gets you access to the First Watch diaries. There's sections of my Discord that only patrons can get to, and it allows me to do things like my live episodes. I will be live at Nerdtacular in Salt Lake City in June this year, and then again at Dragon Con. I will be doing the show live there as well. Patrons are what allow me to be able to do that. So if you can, I greatly appreciate it. join the Patreon. And if you've got ideas for things, you can throw me ideas for movies you think that I should see or whatnot. I have friends that always send me stuff. Next week is one of those. My friend Josh, a.k.a. Juice, he's coming back on the show. We're going in a very different direction from Sonic 2. We are going to watch a movie from 1980 called Night of the Juggler, starring James Brolin. He bought, I think he said he found like a Criterion DVD or something. It's like an early 80s, late 70s sort of New York City crime drama of some kind, but it's got James Brolin in it. And I watched the trailer and it looks like a hoot. I've never seen it before, so I'm excited to go in a vastly different direction and watch this. So that's what's coming up. And then very soon I'm going to be diving back into some cheese with a swan named Emily is coming back on the show shortly, and we're going to talk about Johnny Mnemonic.
Incredible.
As well, which is going to be a ton of fun. I've got Dennis Robinson from Botched coming back as well very soon. Nice. So got some fun stuff coming up. I cannot wait for. But definitely check out tvstravis.com. You can find all of links to everything that I'm doing. And then Linktree / was it Anthony Vito _?
That's the one, yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This has been a blast, and I can't wait to hang out again at DragonCon this year.
Would you say it was a Sonic 3D blast? Because I would.
Very well done. Very well done.
I thought you were going to hit the booze real quick. It was amazing. Thanks for having me on. We'll talk Sonic 3 next, and looking forward to everything else you're doing.
Yeah, and until next time, just remember to enjoy your movies, enjoy your chili dogs, and let's be excellent to each other. It's been Wait You Haven't Seen.
You see, Earth is my turf, G.
If you don't know how to floss, you'll be lost without me.
I understand nothing of what you just said.
I love that.
Great closer.
All right.